Hello, this is my submission for AGDQ 2022, and I'd like to submit the game Compound. It's a VR roguelike shooter. Um, I just got this PB a day before the submission deadline, but I forgot to set my audio correct in OBS, so I was using my desktop mic, which wasn't ideal, instead of my headset mic. So I decided to do a post commentary over the run to kind of give it a better quality. So let's get started. First things first, I set it to easy mode. Just changing my settings real quick before the run. Running at the highest frame rate that I can. So a roguelike shooter means that every run is different. It's randomized. So the way this game works is there's 14 levels and then a final boss. And the levels kind of come in pairs. So the first level in every run is Sewers 1. And the order is the same, but the level layouts is unique, and what guns you get is also random as well. So you always start off with a pistol, and they're scattered about in every level. So in case you ever run out of ammo, you can always use a pistol which have infinite ammo. In Sewers 1 and all the stages that, are the first of its kind, so, we'll see Sales and Reception 1 in a little bit, there is a random weapon drop on the ground, which is marked by a white circle on the mini map. So the map is on my wrist, so you'll see me check it every so often. So in this run, I was able to get a pink revolver. Pretty good gun. It's really strong, but requires good accuracy. Since I'm trying to go fast, I'm not really trying to focus too hard on aiming. I'm just trying to focus hard on finding all the enemies. Once you kill all the enemies on the floor, then you can go to the elevator and move to the next one. So now this is Sewers 2. There's the two levels. The second level for each floor will be, in general, larger and have more enemies. I just got my first kind of pickup free reload, so I can now reload my guns for the next 10 seconds without wasting any clips from my inventory. The first couple levels, like for Sewers and even a little bit into Sales and Reception, I kind of stick with the pistol just to conserve ammo, but I'll switch out for a different gun pretty quickly. You can only carry 2 guns in the game. So I'll start off with the pistol, and then the first weapon you get in Sewers, and then I'll quickly switch out the pistol for the next weapon I get in Sales and Reception 1. So you'll see me look at my mini-map to see what rooms I haven't explored yet. Once I've explored a room, you can actually quick teleport to it by just clicking it on the map. And yeah, so every enemy has a crit spot. So obviously for these guards, it's a headshot. The drones don't actually have a crit spot, but they only take 1 shot to kill. At least on easy. I have 5 HP, and enemies will drop like burgers and cola and hot dogs for me to regenerate health if I'm low. The game only gives you ammo for guns that you have. So right now I only have a revolver, so they're only going to drop pink ammo. But there's a rocket launcher right in front of me here, so as soon as I pick that up, enemies will have a chance of dropping rocket launcher ammo. I was really missing my shots here, so I dropped the pistol and switched to the revolver and picked up my rocket launcher. And you can see he dropped green rocket ammo there for me, since I picked up that that rocket launcher before killing him. Once you've started clearing out most of the enemies, the map will have a red arrow pointing you in the direction of the nearest enemy that is left, which is really helpful for you to kind of find those last couple stragglers that you might have missed. And you can see here I'm kind of dancing around trying to find this drone. The drones are the enemy I struggle the most with. This game just got a speedrunning timer integrated by the developer in the latest update. Not many people speedrun this game, but hopefully that changes soon. I think it's a really fun game. I think any game that has kind of random aspects like this, any kind of randomly generated runs with seeds and stuff, is really good for speedrunning, as Minecraft, for example, is very popular. I think it brings a lot of variability and uniqueness to every run. So yeah, this is Sales and Reception 2. I'm gonna just focus on trying to get as much as much ammo as possible in these kind of earlier levels. But realistically, there is a cap on how much ammo you can carry, so it's kind of a use it or just you're wasting ammo walking past it. So at a certain point, once I have enough ammo, I should just start unloading as much as I can just to kill the enemies as fast as possible. I usually try to save my rockets or like whatever my strongest weapon is for the bigger guys like robots and stuff, because they don't always die in one hit with some of the weaker guns like SMGs and stuff. So here, this is Warehouse 1. I usually try to go straight for the weapon just to see what it is. This is a sticky grenade launcher. I opted to just keep the rocket launcher because I'm more comfortable with it. I think it's easier to hit your shots with. And yeah, these guys I like to affectionately call Wally because they have a somewhat similar appearance too. And so there's three main types of guards. There's the regular blue guards that have shoot pistols. There's the pink ones that have SMGs, and then there's the red ones which have shotguns. The shotgun guys are really scary. They can mess you up real quick. Right there, you actually saw one of the other type of special drops that enemies can drop, and that's a helmet. I didn't pick it up because it was so far away and it wasn't really worth. I'm not really worried about taking damage here, but what the helmet does is it makes the next shot that I take not lose health. I just lose the helmet, so it basically gives me like one free hit. But I can't carry helmets into the next level. Once you go into the elevator to move on to the next level, it's removed. So Warehouse 2. Here you can see a green drone. Green drones are kind of like creepers in a way. They get close to you and then spin up and explode. So you don't actually have to shoot them. You just need to get close enough to them to start their exploding animation and then just get away in time. But like all other drones, they only take one shot. So here's the first walker. They take 2 RPGs usually to kill unless you shoot them in the back, which is where their crit spot is. I find that the stalkers are usually not too scary by themselves, but when there's a lot of them, they can get pretty sketchy. Here you can see me pick up a helmet. So now the next hit I take, I won't actually lose any HP. I'll just lose the helmet. And you can see there I activated those 2 green drones and they just blew up behind me without me having to really worry about them. Easy mode, the bullets, the enemy projectile speed is pretty lenient. I have plenty of time to see and react and dodge to them. But on harder difficulties like medium and hard, the bullet speed is increased and it's a lot more difficult to dodge shots. You got to really be focused and react quickly. I can shoot these tripwires to blow them up, but you can also just crouch underneath them and save ammo. Some environmental structures in this game are destructible. So like these boxes I'm using as cover, you can actually break since they're just made of cardboard, while like these giant metal crates are not. So there's a lot of destructible environments throughout the other stages as well. This game can be really fast-paced and hectic sometimes. Sometimes you can spawn in a room, or you can walk into a room with a lot of enemies and really get caught off guard. But in general, I'd say there's usually around, like, on average, 3 enemies per room. So this is Profit Management 1, kind of like the close quarters level. Shotguns are usually really good weapon to have here. But even like an RPG is good too, just because there's usually a boss on this level that has a big shield, which we'll see in a little bit, that having a green weapon, like a rocket kind of weapon, is really helpful. This is a railgun. I decided to swap out here because it's a little bit stronger than the revolver, and it can really make a big difference when fighting stalker enemies, because you're able to like shoot a rocket at a stalker enemy and then just one-shot it with a railgun, while it would usually take like 1 or 2 shots or 2 or 3 shots with a revolver if you don't get a crit. And so now we'll go on to Profit Management 2. Each gun has its unique reload animation, or not animation, but a unique reload system. So the railgun, you load in from the top. The RPG, as you can see, gets loaded from the back. That's the shielded enemy that I was talking about before. If you have a well placed rocket, you can just kind of take them out in one shot, which is nice. So I am using smooth locomotion. You can use teleport locomotion. I just find the smooth locomotion is a lot easier to kind of dodge bullets and not get as disoriented. But obviously, it's different for everybody, especially in VR. Teleport is in general easier on the stomach, so to speak. The pink drones have full auto guns, and they can be real dangerous if they dodge your shots. You can only carry a max of 9 rockets, so whenever I hit the cap of 9, I usually try to just start using them, so I'm not passing any of them up. And like I said before, since you can just teleport to any room that you cleared, once you clear a floor, you can just teleport right back to the elevator to move on to the next one. So this is chemical processing 1. Not too much, unique about this level. This is, I think, the first level where we face a tank. It might be, I think, chemical processing 2, actually, on easy at least. But all of these virus and vaccine canisters are destructible as well. So you gotta be careful what pieces of cover you use in this game, because enemies can make quick work of them if they're all shooting at it. And then you're just kind of left exposed. On to chemical processing 2. I got a pretty good seed here for this floor in particular. It wasn't too spread out. Sometimes you can get really unlucky, and there's a lot of dead ends that don't, and like some floors are kind of just like a big loop, and you can just keep running in a straight line more or less until you kill all the enemies. While other times there's a lot of dead ends. And you have to kind of double back or TP back, which can be pretty annoying. Here I'm double checking this dead end just to make sure I cleared it entirely, because a lot of times there's stragglers that you don't actually catch and you'll have to come back anyways. So that's why you always got to make sure to clear everything just to be sure. So here's the tank I was talking about. It's more, I just call it a tank. It's really just, I don't know all the names yet for the enemies, but he can be pretty nasty, but luckily doing just quick peeks around a corner and shooting an RPG is a really effective way to kill enemies. You just have to be careful not to get overwhelmed from behind. Just doing a little bit of cleanup here. I only have one room left to clear out. One of the really nice things about the railgun is that you can one-shot Wally robots without having to crit, which can save a lot of time. On to the next level here, Research and Development 1. The gimmick of this stage is that there's these green tubes that right there, as you can see, that have extra enemies in them if you break it. So ideally, you wouldn't break any of these open, then you just wouldn't have to deal with them. But oftentimes, the enemies will shoot them, or you'll shoot like a rocket next to an enemy, and it will blow up one of these canisters or one of these tubes, and you'll wake up an extra enemy. But they can be kind of tanky. Luckily, they're not too much trouble on easy. It's just a couple extra shots you have to deal with. See, as you can see there, I accidentally freed one. The railgun goes through enemies, so you can get collats with it. That's another reason why it's such a strong gun. You can get 2-for-1, 3-for-1 kills with just one bullet. But you got to be careful with it in cases like this, where you can accidentally create more issues for yourself. And that was a pretty good stage. On to Research and Development 2. That's the elevator, not a door. So there's two types of stalker enemies. There's ones with just regular blasters, and then the one there which had like a laser gun that charges up. You can break the line of sight from the laser stalkers, and they'll have to like kind of recharge up their laser again. So I think they're easier to deal with than the ones with blasters. Here's the boss of this level, the hazmat suit guy. He's pretty tanky. He shoots green goop at you, but luckily rockets are no match for most enemies on easy. And there's a good example of enemies freeing one of the green zombie guys. But there I was able to use one of those green drones to blow up enemies too. So enemies have friendly fire. So if you line enemies up in a row and they all shoot at you, usually the guys in the front will just die from their friends from behind, which can be pretty nice sometimes. Yeah, I don't know where this guy came from. The soundtrack to this game is amazing. Shoutouts to Speed Black. All the tracks in this game are just so good, and it fits the game so well. And the art style is, the retro art style is just incredible. It's so well done. You know, like people when they think of VR, they think, you know, hyper realistic a lot of times, I feel like, but a game like this, it just it evokes certain emotion, and it's just a blast to play. Another amazing thing about this game is that it runs incredibly well. I don't have the strongest system. I don't have the strongest PC, but I don't have a hard time running this game at a really high frame rate, which helps a lot performance-wise, or like physically. The more frames you get in VR, like the easier it is on your body, I find. So yeah, that is the last level before Executive Power. So this is Executive Power. One of the final levels before the final boss. I did have a little bit of trouble on this level, mainly like health-wise. I was a little low a couple times, but thankfully, the game provides what you need. You know, if you're low on a certain type of ammo, you'll see that ammo a lot get dropped. If you're low on health, you'll see a lot of health get dropped. So while I did get dangerously low once or twice here, I was able to find the health drops that I needed to. Just clearing that loop there just in case. You can waste a lot of time. I know you like, obviously you can TP to a corner that you haven't explored yet, or that you didn't fully clear, I should say. But that can waste a lot of time. So I think it's pretty important to always clear your corners, just to double check to make sure you're not passing any guys by. Did get a little unlucky on this level here. This is a dead end, so I had to TP back and go back. But that's just kind of the nature of the randomized game. Got a lot of food there, which is super nice. Onto Executive Power 2. This is the very last level before the final boss. I got pretty good weapons this run. I think on easy mode, having a green gun, a gun that uses green ammo, like a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher, is really important, just to like clear out enemies as quickly as possible. There are other guns that can get the job done quick, but in terms of ease and speed, I'd say rocket launcher is a good balance. It's pretty hard to miss a rocket, though I've managed to pull it off pretty often. The railgun is just really strong, but there are multiple times in this run where I missed a lot of shots, which isn't ideal, but it's a trade-off between taking your time to aim versus trying to go fast. Tanking a few hits here and there, whiffing a few shots here and there, but you know, I was a little nervous since I was on good pace here. I'm always trying to make sure I have as much ammo as possible in this last level, because you can save a lot of time by going in with max ammo when going into the final boss. There is ammo during the final boss that you can collect, but it just loses a little bit of time. So ideally, I would go in with like max rockets going into the last level. Here I was kind of getting a little turned around because that quick teleport kind of disoriented me. So those cameras on the wall actually shoot at you, but they don't count towards the global enemy count in terms of clearing the level. Like I could just walk past those and still, you know, kill all the other enemies and be able to go into the elevator. But it's smart to take them out just because they can be pretty annoying when dealing with all the other enemies that matter. All right, and now on to the final boss, High Worth Individual. So the final boss of this game is in a helicopter, and the way this this fight works is you have to shoot the helicopter until you do a certain amount of damage, and then he'll call on guards to attack you. So you have like one wave of guards to deal with, and then you'll fight the helicopter again. And then after you do a certain amount of damage, you'll fight the second wave of guards, and then you'll fight the helicopter one more time. So it's helicopter guards, helicopter guards, helicopter. And then you have to get to the final elevator to finish the run. The guards, the two waves of guards they have to deal with are actually kind of good if you are low on ammo, because they can drop ammo, and they're very good if you're low on health. It's important to always fight the helicopter with cover nearby. This fence is actually a pretty good piece of cover that surrounds the rooftop, and so are like these crates and stuff. The helicopter can do a lot of damage really fast. Here I was playing it safe. I didn't want to get wrecked by an SMG, so I waited for that pink guard to chill out and reload. Getting a free reload on the last phase is pretty nice. And I always try to kill the helicopter as close to the elevator as possible, and that's time. That is Compound. Easy random seed. Since it's a roguelike, you just loop through the game, so now I'm back at Sewers 1. But that's the run. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.